Welcome to Flat Out Elected. My name is Rand Campbell. Ay. You know, every once in a while when you come to this truth and you're a messenger of truth, you're going to come across the very people that we are at war against. And here's something that a lot of people in the truth community, probably even a lot of my subscribers, maybe don't see. This thing called truth, this increased knowledge that we are receiving in these days, has an absolute opposition. And make no mistake about it, as we are going after NASA, as we are going after the Hollywood elite and the politicians and the Illuminati and all of these people that we know are deceiving us, as we are focusing on exposing them, they are placing within truth communities their own. That's an absolute truth. There are shills in this community. There are Satanists in this community. There are people of which whom have been placed in this community for whatever that reason may be. Maybe that reason is to put out disinformation. Maybe that reason is to mock and insult those that are telling the truth, those that are exposing the deceivers. Maybe they place people in this community to give half-truths, quarter-truths, partial truths, but give you just enough to keep you locked into a box, to keep you locked into a very small room of truth. After really praying on this and using my discernment, I have concluded that Dell is absolutely 100% not being honest. He's being extremely disingenuous. He has been asked many times about his tattoos. Dell represents the very people that those of us of which whom are in truth are warring against. Now, you might say, oh, wow, no, he's just, angry or no. Now, let me explain something to you. All of the elitists, all of these superstars, and all of these so-called idols are wrapped in Illuminati symbolism. Their tattoos, their clothing, everything about them, they're walking billboards for the deceivers. Now, think about this for a second. A lot of these artists pride themselves on being individuals, on being unique. They're artists, they're unique. So if they're unique by nature, by personality, why are they all wearing and using the same symbols? That seems the opposite of somebody that would be unique. They're all doing the one eye symbolism. They're all doing the pyramid symbolism. They're all doing the 666 symbolism. All of them. They're not being unique. They're actually wrapping themselves in the symbols of the deceivers of which we are trying to expose. And I give 100% credit to Russian Vids. In my humble opinion, I believe that he is the best at exposing the deceivers in this truth community. Now, there may be those that will argue that, and that's fine. You have your opinion. I've been doing this a very long time, and I have concluded that Russian Vids, for me and for many others, nails it with every single video. He is a very, very, very attuned man when it comes to his discernment, period. And I had done a video about Dell almost a year ago. So for anybody that thinks that I'm riding on the coattails of Russian Vids, absolutely not. I did a video on Dell. I exposed him almost a year ago. And not to take away from Russian Vids, but I exposed Dell before Russian Vids did. However, Russian Vids did an excellent job in exposing Dell. And I'm going to today focus on the tattoos of which he is wrapped in. He is wrapped in Illuminati satanic tattoos. Now, as I said, I don't believe these people get these tattoos because they want them. I believe that their handlers make them get these tattoos because it goes against their so-called unique personalities. It goes against them being an absolutely individual artist. If you're wearing the tattoos of the very people that we are trying to expose in this deception, that speaks volumes about something about you. It just does. It's like you go to these major companies, whether it's McDonald's or Burger King or Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Coors Light or all these companies. The employees wear uniforms. They are wrapped in the symbol that identifies who it is that they work for, who it is that they serve. Let that sink in a minute. So if you're wearing tattoos, if you're wrapped in the symbols of the deceivers, that's questionable. That for me is extremely, extremely suspect. Now, here's a part of the problem. All of these symbols, all of these tattoos, guys like Russian Vids and many, many, many other truthers in this community didn't really start exposing all of these symbols and making these symbols known as Illuminati symbols until I'll even go as far back as maybe 7, 8, 9, possibly 10 years ago. Well, Dell's tattoos are a lot older than that. You can look at his tattoos and see they're not fresh, they're not new tattoos. He's been wrapped in these symbols. And it's not just one. If it was just one, okay, I get it. Maybe you got drunk one night, thought it was a cool tattoo and had it done. But how did you know about these symbols to have these tattoos done long before they started being exposed? Long before these symbols started being exposed. How did you know about these symbols? He'll never explain this. This is a part of the problem. His Boy Scout troop that come to my videos and make comments or that, are in his chat room defending him, ask all the time, why do you guys talk about Dell's tattoos? Well, the reason is because he doesn't. And he needs to. He needs to explain why he is in a truth community that is exposing the deceivers of which whom use those symbols to talk back and forth. They wrap all of the deceivers in those symbols. All of these celebrities have these symbols, whether on clothing, whether on their flesh as tattoos, or whether they're doing them as hand symbols. It's extremely suspect that he has these tattoos. It's even more suspect that he doesn't explain them. And then it gets even deeper when you come to understand that he would have had these tattoos long before people started exposing them. So where was he in his life that he got all these tattoos, of which are symbols of the very people those in the truth community are exposing. When you really think about this, it makes you question him. We're not talking about he just wore a t-shirt one day with the devil horns. We're not talking about that maybe one day he accidentally did the OK sign, the 666 symbol. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a man who has wrapped himself in the symbols that identify the deceivers. The very symbols that the deceivers use consistently. That's an important thing to think about. But he'll never explain that. So when his Boy Scout troops, when they hit me with, why do you just talk about his tattoos? Well, again, we do it because he doesn't. He doesn't explain them. He doesn't say, this was a time when, and then go into an explanation. Now, he might feel like he doesn't have to explain why he's wearing the deceiver symbols on his body. He may feel like he doesn't have to. But if we're going to question NASA, if we're going to hold their feet to the fire with the things that they do, if we're going to hold the celebrities' feet to the fire and question why they do all these symbols, why they wear these symbols, then we need to not be so distracted by that we're incapable of seeing what's right in front of us. Because make no mistake about it, the enemy absolutely puts his own dead smack in the middle of the truth. This is what he does. If you think that there are no shills in the flat earth community, you're dead asleep. If you think Dell doesn't need to explain his tattoos, you're dead asleep. If you think it's okay for him to talk to people the way that he talks to people, which, by the way, is the only reason why most people even watch his channel. They like the drama. They like the anger. They like that. Because they don't have Christ within them. Because when you have Christ within you, that kind of behavior is disturbing. And so it's not just about his tattoos. It's that his tattoos align with his behavior, period. And I don't like making these types of videos, but I do live within the purpose of God in that I expose evil, period. And if that evil is in this community, if it is seated in the truth, it needs to be examined and exposed, period. Dell is not being honest. He is boxing people into a very, very, very small room of this truth. He refuses to expose the Illuminati. He refuses to talk about 9/11. He refuses to talk about the hoaxes. He refuses to talk about the Satanism in the music industry in Hollywood, the pedophilia. He refuses to talk about any of that. He is stuck on water finds its level. And we all agree that's true. But just because you've come to that truth, it does not mean you are not seated in the truth community as a shill, as an agent of deception. His tattoos speak volumes. And for any of his subscribers that are unable to understand this, your ignorance is willful. It is either willful or you're not really about the truth. You couldn't possibly care about the truth. You only care about mocking and insulting people that disagree with Dell. You only care about Dell's abusive language and behaviors towards people that may be in disagreement with some of the things that he does. But you most certainly are not interested in the truth at all. I prayed, and I am praying over this video, that it seriously pierces Dell's heart and those in his Boy Scout troop that follow him and defend him. We are in very, very serious times. It is very important that people drop their egos and come to know Jesus Christ in these days. He identified himself as the truth. He is the truth. That means that all truth that is being brought to this world in these days is a revelation of Jesus Christ. And if you haven't come to the Lord yet, that's fine. Maybe you're not quite ready, and maybe the Lord will reveal himself to you when you are ready. I don't know. But if your behaviors are so horrific and so violent, and your language is so disgusting, that you are attracting young people, people that are as well lost, and people that just simply cannot see the truth, and that simply cannot understand that, yes, in fact, the Bible was a flat earth book long before any of us ever came to this truth. God is increasing knowledge in these days. And it is our job as warriors of truth on the battlefield to not only expose those at the very top of this nasty, nasty, deceived world. Our job is as well to have the discernment to see who is standing on this battlefield with us. Because make no mistake about it, the opposition knows to plant its own deceivers on the battlefield. I would love for Dell to explain his tattoos, when he got them, and what they meant to him when he got them. Because like I said, he didn't get one tattoo one night when he was drunk and silly. No, he's got several wrapped on him, no differently than the deceivers have on their bodies. No differently than the deceivers wrap themselves with the same symbols. It is very important that in these days on this battlefield, those of which whom are at war with demons and principalities and powers in high places, that we know exactly who it is that claims to be in the same truth that we are delivering, when in fact they may not be. I ask that Dell seriously consider explaining his tattoos, because I thoroughly believe this as well. He has only exposed and flaunted some tattoos. I know this about tattoos. I've hung around bikers my whole life. I've been in and out of prison. I've seen a lot of tattoos in my life, and I understand this. When you start tatting your hands, it's because you've ran out of space, which means that the tattoos on his back, his chest, his stomach, his legs, we've never seen. I can almost guarantee you that he didn't put just the Illuminati tattoos or the satanic symbol tattoos where we could see them. I can guarantee you he's probably got a lot of tattoos, a lot of symbols of the very deceivers that I at this point believe he serves. I pray that this pierces his heart. I seriously do. And I pray that his Boy Scout troop, his followers, his occult members wake up. Something's not right. And it's time that Christians stand up on this battlefield and know who it is that they are battling against these deceptions with. Because like I said, most of these people in this community that are anti-Christian are anti-Christian for a reason. And I'm going to start paying close attention to the people in this community. And if I find out that there are reasons for me to believe that they are not who they say they are, I am absolutely 100% for sure going to be exposing them. This is a part of my purpose, to expose evil. And just because you claim to be in the truth, it does not mean that you represent the truth, because the truth that you need to be representing is Jesus Christ. Period.
is when you talking to the principalities and reminding the powers and telling them who you are and what's going to happen. That's when you get an attitude. We have access to God with boldness and confidence. We can go boldly to the throne of God. We can go confidently to him. But what does the devil do? He keeps bringing up your past. He keeps bringing up your failures. He keeps bringing up your shortcomings. I'm not going to God on the basis of my righteousness, not my righteousness. I'm going on the basis of his righteousness and who he is.